Welcome to Busy Living Sober, Busy Living Sober, Busy Living Sober. It is episode 446. How is everybody this Wednesday, May 22nd? How is everybody? I hope everybody out there is doing well. If you're here for the first time, if you're back, hey, what's up? So glad you're back. Please subscribe and share this episode with your friends if you enjoy it. Please, 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 please. And go to my website, elizabethchance.com or busylivingsober.com. Takes you all the same place. And subscribe to my newsletter, which comes out every Friday. Okay, be dropped right into your inbox. So, how is everybody? I hope everybody's well. Today's topic is shocker. Shocker. It's so interesting because recently I've had a lot of people reach out to me that are like, oh my gosh, I'm newly sober. I have a little bit of time and I can't believe how great my life is. And what a shocker it is, right? What a shocker it is. And I can tell you this, when I was getting sober, well, I'm pre getting sober, I was like, this is going to be the end of my life. Oh my gosh, it's going to be horrible. I'm getting sober and I'm going to be a loser. I'm going to have nothing going on in my life. Again, this was almost 18 years ago, but I thought it would be life would end as I knew it. It would become something that I didn't like. It would be, I'd have a sad life. I'd be miserable. I wouldn't have anything to do. I wouldn't have any friends, going down that rabbit hole. And it was so much fear that took over me. And for my listeners, they're all saying, I am so happy now that I don't drink. Why didn't I do this sooner? And I can relate. Why didn't I do it sooner? What took me so long? What was in my way? What was blocking me from going and seeking the light, as I'm going to say today? What stood in my way to get to this place of real sobriety? What was it? And it was all my head. It was all stuff I made up in my head. There was all this shame. There was all this just negative thoughts. And then when we get sober and we realize how great life is because we aren't spending so much time in shame, remorse, sadness, like amnesia. What did we do the night before? All of that was so weighing on us. At least it was weighing on me when I was drinking. And I hated myself. Why am I doing this to myself again? Why? Why? And then realizing that when we put down the drink, it's like, the world is so big. Oh my gosh, what did I miss? I'd look at I remember waking up those first months and weeks and days and going, oh my gosh, I missed so much. Look at how many flowers are there. Or if it was in the winter, I got sober in August. So in the Northeast, so it was beautiful out, sunny, warm, just happiness all around me. And it was called the pink cloud, right? And in the 12-step rooms, they'd be like, oh, you're on a pink cloud. You're on a pink cloud. How long are you going to be on this pink cloud? I was on it. I think I'm still on it actually, because I still remember how bad I felt. And I would play this tape through of what it was like when I was drinking and how bad it was and how I was just never wanted to go back there. I still don't ever want to go back there. I still every day thank God for being sober because it's like giving me this gift that's beyond my wildest dreams because I'm able to like myself today. And I'm able to wake up and go, oh my gosh, I remember what I did yesterday. I remember what I said. It didn't have such a hold on me that I was constantly thinking about it. Do I have enough wine? Do I have enough of this? Do I have enough of this to keep me inebriated so that I'm going to be okay? Air quotes I'm doing. And by the way, if you're not watching me, if you're just listening, and it was so just, the shocker was, oh my gosh, I put down a drink. I don't have that need to go buy all this stuff to make sure that I'm okay. I get to wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, I have gratitude. I'm happy. I'm not sick. I don't feel ill from what I put in my body. I don't feel like oh my gosh, what did I do? Who did I hurt? What did I say? Who was I in this previous life? I call it my pre-reality. I don't look back anymore, I have to say, and say, oh my gosh, I hate, I hate, I hate. I learned a lot in my drinking career. I learned what I didn't want, what I did want. I did have some fun in the beginning. It was really fun for a long time till it wasn't. But getting to that place that you're like, oh my gosh, it's such a shock, right? It's such a shock to the system and it's such a shock to our personality, to who we are, that we put down this drink. We no longer ingest alcohol, which is a spirit. I always like to point that out there. They call it the spirit store because it's a spirit. It changes us. It changes our brain chemistry. It changes our body. Um, it's a social lubricant. We think we need it when in fact we don't. And it's such again, a shock to go, oh my gosh, for so long, I thought this is what I needed when in fact, it was taking me away from the sunlight of the spirit. It was taking me away from the good stuff. It was taking me away from present reality. It was taking me away from the gifts that are in life. It was taking me away from my family. It was taking me away from my friends because in reality, I wasn't Elizabeth anymore. I became this other person. I remember a friend of mine used to say when I drank, because I would drink to this place where I would start mumbling. I couldn't speak anymore. I'd go in and out of blackouts. I wouldn't be me. I became something else, a person that was just kind of crass, a person that was unkind, a person that was emotional. I was fun sometimes. I'm not going to take that away. I was a little fun. I did outrageous things that in my right mind I wouldn't do. I got into situations with men that I would not do normally. I let my guard down in places I never would have. I gave myself away. I took away my morals. I took away my who I am. I became what everybody else wanted me to be. That's like what triumphed everything else. It's like I wanted to be what everybody else wanted me to be and not who I am at my heart, at my core. I became a follower. I became kind of what they describe today, kind of like a snowflake, right? I did what everybody else wanted me to do because it was popular. I became, you wanted all these people to, at least I wanted everybody to like me. And what everybody else was doing was drinking. And I thought, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be popular now, air quotes again. Um, it's so interesting. It's so interesting looking back and realizing how many benefits I've received from not drinking. It's kind of overwhelming. And if you think about it, it's like, wow, the benefits so much outweigh that fear. If I could have just gotten out of the way sooner, I think it all happens when it's supposed to happen. We put down the drink when we're finally ready to put down the drink. And when we are finally ready and we get to that place of going, oh my gosh, I never thought life could be so good. I never knew that putting down a drink and figuring out who I was, what really made me tick, not what everybody else wanted me to think that made me tick. It was like what made me tick. What what do I like? It's not what everybody else around me likes. It's what I like. It took time for me to like clear through the wreckage of my past, clear through what I thought I was, in fact, of like who I really am. It's like that took time and embracing it and going, yeah, I might not have some of those friends anymore. I might not have some of those relationships that I had before. I'm not going to see my local bartender anymore. That's for sure. I'm not going to be hanging out the bar anymore. I'm not going to be seeing the people that are the other bar guys anymore. I'm not going to have those friends that like to go out and party all the time. And that's okay. It's really okay. It took time for me to be like, it is okay, Elizabeth, it is okay. It's like rewiring something. It's like you go out there, and when you think I'm going to get sober, you think it's going to be this doomsday. It's going to change everything. And there's so much fear, like it's going to look so different than what my life is right now. How am I ever going to be happy? How am I ever going to be okay? But in reality, I was so much more okay than I had ever been. But I didn't know till I knew. It didn't happen till it happened. And I can sit here and go, oh, I wish I had done it earlier, but I didn't. I didn't do it earlier. I was 37, 3 kids, a divorce, all this stuff had already happened, all this wreckage, all this stuff that had gone on, all these relationships that had come and gone, and all this time. And I thought, oh, all of it's going to become, I'm just going to become this shriveled up person sitting in my house crying by myself and not have anything. And the reality is that that was a big lie. And it was such a shock to go, oh my gosh, I'd wake up in the morning and be like, oh my gosh, I know where my car is. I know what I said last night. I know what I sent in a text message. I know who I called. I know who I wake up in the morning with. I didn't get to this place where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm putting down the drink and now what? I wasn't like that. It was kind of like automatic. It was like within the first week, it was like, wow, wow, the world is so beautiful. Look at how much I missed. Look at all the beautiful things. Look at all the beautiful people all over the place. I could hold the door open, and I'm going to use the Wawa as a reference because the Wawa was right down the street. But I would go to the Wawa and I could hold the door open and I didn't have to be like, oh my gosh, do I smell anymore? No, I don't smell of the night before. I didn't put anybody in my community in danger by driving my car after having a couple glasses of wine. I didn't have any of that anymore. I could just be me, my authentic self. I could be who God wanted me to be for my whole life. I could be Elizabeth, authentic Elizabeth. I didn't have to be what you wanted me to be. I got to be who I wanted to be. When I was drinking, my favorite color was green. Now my favorite color is orange. I love orange. As you can see, my water bottle's orange. And I have a little sip. But I really believed that life was going to be over. And that pink cloud that came in and that is still here, that gratitude has still not left me. And I've been doing this for a long time, as I just mentioned, and it hasn't dissipated. In fact, it's gotten better and better and better. It's like life is just being happy in my own skin, figuring out who I am, like going and investigating what do I really like? What do I really like? And as you guys all know, I started off going to a 12-step program, which God was really big in the 12-step programs. It just is. I know a lot of people don't like that, and some people do. It was so funny. I was talking to Caroline today, and we were talking about how she's like, you might not get any more lists. You might have people not like your podcast anymore because you're talking about God so much, and you're talking about your religion, and you're talking about the fact that you're conservative and you are, you know, a Trumper, whatever. And you're going to lose so many people because so many people that are getting sober are liberal. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm your first person that you've heard that's conservative, that is living this life that's beyond our wildest dreams. And I am back to my roots. I go back to how this country was founded, and it's like all about having religious freedoms was why we started, right? So you think about those religious freedoms, and it's like, it's okay for me to say this. And you might not follow God, you might follow somebody, other higher power, but having a higher power is like the most important thing. It is the most important thing in life. It's um it's interesting. I was talking to somebody, actually, one of my people that I talk to almost on a very, very, very regular basis. And we were talking, and she was talking about somebody she works with. And the person she works with's nephew is a baby, and he just came down with a rare disease, and he's not going to live. He's going to pass away. And the family has no religion, and they have no higher power. They have nothing outside of themselves to put faith on and trust on. And I think about that, and it makes me so sad because we all need to lean on something. And when I went to that 12-step meeting and they were talking about God, I was like, I love this. I love talking about God. I love knowing that there's something bigger, because I don't know that I would have been okay my whole life if it weren't for God. God was watching over me and my kids, and still does and has my whole life since I've been born. I I felt safe in those 12-step rooms because of that fact that it was based on something that was bigger. It wasn't another human being. You know, human beings are fallible, right? We watch it all the time. We watch presidents, we watch priests, we watch doctors, we watch lawyers, we watch them all, for lack of a better word, sin. And we know that they're human, but we want them to be perfect. We want every human being to do exactly what they say. Don't be hypocritical. Don't talk out of both sides of your mouth. Don't say one thing and then do the other. Don't say you're sober and then smoke weed on the side. Don't, be committed to this and then you go out and drink. But it happens because we're human, right? We all are human. We're all having a human experience. Doesn't matter who you are and what your job title is and what type of house you live in or don't live in. We're all human. We all commit sins. It's like what we do every day. It's part of being a human being. It started from, Adam and Eve from the very beginning. Don't eat this apple, and they ate the apple. And I think our life today, when we're sober at least, we can make choices that at least are going to be a little bit morally on the positive side than they were on the negative side. We're going to be able to make choices that in the end we can think about and we can know, is this going to be good for me or is this going to be bad for me? But when we're drinking, there is no such thing. There's no such thing as making a choice of something that's going to be good for us and something that's going to be bad for us, because we're under the influence. We can't make any good decisions. So when we get sober, having that higher power, which I thought was brilliant, that Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob wrote about in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, they talk about having a higher power. And I'm going to tell you, I think it's the best thing I ever gave my kids was having a relationship with God, because when you have a relationship with God, you know that there's something bigger than you. And at least for me, believe that it's good. Bad things happen in the world. Bad things happen all the time because people make choices. God gave us that choice of making free will. We get free will. We get to choose what we want and what we don't want. And sometimes we make decisions that we think are going to be amazing, and in the end, they turn out not amazing. And bad things start to then domino effect of bad things. But if we're sober, we can at least make a choice of saying, all right, I'm going to weigh this out. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to talk to people in my life. And when I was first sober, um, first decade and a half, I was, I talked to my sponsor about everything. I still talk to my sponsor about a lot. And she is there to help me, guide me, and help me realize that I'm not alone. There is light. Nothing is forever. All I have to do this is 20 for the 24 hours a day, one day at a time. And some days I'm probably only up for 15 hours, 16 hours. Um, not for, but anyway, I'm not good at math on the quick like this, but my point is that the biggest shock of getting sober is that you realize you get to find out who you are. You get to be proud of yourself. You get to hold your head high. You get to thank something that's bigger than you for helping you get here. Whatever that bigger thing is for you. For me, it's God. And now it's really the Blessed Mother as well. I mean, I get to thank them every day and say, thank you. Thank you for helping me stay sober today. Because it's not my will. You know, so many people are like, oh my gosh, you're so strong to get sober. You're so strong to make it through all this stuff. And I don't know how strong I really am. I think I'm willing to ask for help. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to say, humbly ask somebody that's bigger than me to help me out. I think we need humility. And humility for me is like looking at who I am and knowing I make bad decisions sometimes. I can be an egomaniac. I can be overbearing. I can be all of these things, but I can sometimes get out of the way and say, God, what do you want me to be? What do you want me to be, the Blessed Mother? How can you use me today? How can I be here to help some other human being walking on this planet? And when I get out of the way, everything becomes amazing and magical. When I get out of the way, when I pray, when I think, okay, there's all this dark stuff going on in the world, but I can't go there. I have to have faith. I have to have hope. I have to have love in my heart and know it's all going to be okay. It might be bumpy times. Life is bumpy, but I don't pick up a drink no matter what. I thank God for keeping me sober. I thank God. Like, this is shocking, by the way, you guys. Shocking for me personally. Like, if you had told me 2 months ago I'd be saying a rosary every day and I go to mass at 7 in the morning, I'd be like, there is no way in the world that's ever happening for Elizabeth Jane. I'm not doing that. I sleep till 8 o'clock. I get up, I do my thing. I'm not going to pray like that. There's no way. Why would I ever do that? Now, I can't imagine not doing it. Isn't it funny? It's like when we get sober, we are like, oh my gosh, life is so amazing. I am never going to go back and put that drink in my body because I feel so bad when I do it. I don't want to ever do that again. It's the same sort of shocker. We do new things all the time. I think as humans, we're always evolving. We don't want to all stay in the same place all the time. Life would be so boring. It'd be so, oh, I can't imagine. And somebody said to me the other day, I don't know, I was in a bathroom, I think, and we were talking. I don't even know why we talked about heaven, but we did with a total stranger. And I said, I know at the end of this life, I can't wait because when I do go to heaven, I want to be sliding in those golden gates and saying, geez, that was a great ride. Wow. I got to see so many things. I got to help people. I got to be the best Elizabeth I could be. I didn't have to be ashamed anymore. I didn't have to be scared of who I was. I didn't have to be something that somebody else wanted me to be. I got to be me. And somebody told me that I was so strong the other day in an email. They said, I just love that you're so strong and you talk about your faith and you talk about what you believe in and you're not scared. And I'm not. What is going to happen? I get to be me and I get to share it with you guys so you don't have to feel alone if you're feeling the same way I am. I just want you to know that you're not alone. And you too, it's not like I'm strong. I'm not going out and fighting in wars. I can tell you that. I'm not in going and putting myself in politics, at least not yet. I don't know if I ever will. But if that's like hard, I think, like, I can't imagine being Donald Trump and having your entire life and constantly people beating up on you and your family all the time. I like that. I'm just this girl that's going here. My kids don't even listen to my podcast, so they don't even care, to be honest. They're like, Mom, we listen to your podcast and we go, cringe. I get it. I listen to my podcast and I go, cringe too. But to be able to be who you are and be okay with that and realize you might be different than your neighbor, but you love that neighbor anyway, it's like the best part, right? I have friends that are liberal. I love them anyway. We just vote differently and we have different beliefs. I love them. I want the best for them. They might not want to break bread with me anymore, but that's cool. I still love them. Just because we have different beliefs doesn't mean that I have to hate you and I want to make your life miserable. No, I wish you the best. Go for it. Try out life. Do what you want to believe in, but know why you're doing what you're doing. You know, realizing that you have a higher power, whoever it is like key to this whole thing. I got to tell you, the shocker is knowing that I got to trust in something bigger than me. And when I do, my life's better than I could ever imagine. When I get out of the way, when I just get out of the way, when I say, I don't want it to look like this, I don't want it to look like that. If I just let go, I own who I am. I'm Elizabeth Chance. I'm sober. I'm Catholic again. I am a Trumper. I'm all these things. And I'm loving and I have a huge heart. And I want to share with others that if you decide to do this whole thing about sobriety, or if you decide to go to church again, if you decide to go to synagogue again, if you decide to go to the mosque again, whatever it is that you decide, own it. Own who you are. Don't be ashamed of who you are anymore. Don't be ashamed of what you believe in. Don't make the media or other people make you question who you are. Embrace who you are. I spent so many years being ashamed of myself and who I was and what I stood for. I did what everybody else wanted me to do. And when I was drinking, it was like I went and I put myself in these situations that could have harmed myself, could have harmed others. And that's shameful, right? What I believe in is something that I need to be proud of, not be like, oh my gosh, I can't say what I believe because what if somebody doesn't like me? It's okay, don't like me. It's okay. I didn't like me for decades. I hated myself. I hated myself. I'd wake up in the morning going, oh my God, why did I do this again? Why, why, why? Why did alcohol have such a hold on me? Why did I become an alcoholic? Does it really matter? No, I just was. It's like once you're a pickle, you're a pickle. You can't go back to being a cucumber. You're a pickle. So I'm a pickle now. How am I going to embrace and move forward? It's going to be owning who I am, owning my voice, being proud of who I am, knowing that I believe something that maybe somebody else doesn't believe, and that's okay. And that's okay. I believe in my country. I'm proud of America. I want America to be like it was. I love the technology that's out there and I love all of that, but I want us to be able to be open and talk to each other in honest and open conversations and be able to have real conversations about things. Not because you vote for this, you're a bad person. If you vote for that, you're a good person. Da, 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 da. Like all these labels. Enough, enough. You know, becoming who you are, being sober and not ashamed was my first thing I actually had patented, was sober, not ashamed. Is such freedom. It is such freedom to be sober and not ashamed. It gives you the gift of authenticity. Shocker. It gives you the gift of being able to look in the mirror and knowing what you like, being proud of what you like, being transparent, being proud. I just want to say, like a peacock. You see them walking around and they've got their head up high and their feathers all behind them, and they just look so beautiful. And they are proud of who they are. When I was drinking, I wasn't proud of who I was. I wasn't proud. And right now, where we live, we're supposed to think it's okay if a boy wants to be a girl and a girl wants to be a boy. And we're supposed to think it's okay. We're supposed to say, oh yeah, you want to be he, him, and they, them, and da da da. And we're supposed to sit back and say, oh yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna be on that ride. I'm gonna take that Kool-Aid. I'm gonna run with it. No, sorry. Nope, nope. A boy is a boy and a girl is a girl. Vagina and a penis. Okay, just sorry. I hope I didn't offend anybody when I use those two words, but it's true. That's what their genitals are. And we live in this world that we're supposed to just say, what 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore. And we're supposed to be like, it's okay. It's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Not for me. If you agree with it, that it's okay, good for you. I don't. Can we agree to disagree? I guess is the reality. Is this podcast going to go away because of now I'm doing and I'm being who I'm authentically am? Maybe it's not supposed to be. Maybe it is supposed to be. I don't know. I know that sharing helps me. It helps me to be able to be my authentic self. I've always wanted to be on TV. I've always wanted to be an interviewer. I've always wanted to share things with others. I've always wanted to be able to let people know that they're not alone because for so long I felt like I was alone. I felt like I was the only person that looked like me that was having these problems. I felt like I was the only person that had these beliefs, but I'm not the only person. You're not the only person believing what you believe. You're not the only person that wants to scream from the rooftops, hello, everybody. We got to stop. We have to have love again. Confusion brings mayhem. We're living in such crazy times. It's interesting. I'm going that woman that my friend was talking about yesterday, whose child is passing away and they don't have any belief in anything bigger. I just feel terrible for them because I can't imagine not believing in something. Today I went to mass, 7 a.m. down the street from my house. And I was in the parking lot and I started to talk to this gentleman that was parked right next to me. I said, hi. And he said, hi. And I could tell he was a little sad, that he felt, you could just see by his demeanor, you could feel his energy was sad, just kind of sad. And I said, hi, I'm Elizabeth. Nice to meet you. And we started talking and talking and talking. And he shared with me that his wife passed away 2 weeks before Christmas. She was 70 years old. She died of cancer. And he started to cry. And I said, can I give you a hug? And he looked at me and he's like, I'm okay. I'm okay. And then finally he let down that exterior and he said, yes, take a hug. And I hugged him and he was so sad. And to be there and just say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We all go through these times in our lives where we just get sad and we get all these feelings and we think we need to go put this alcohol in us to be okay, but we don't. That's the lie. We don't. This gentleman goes to mass every day, because he just wants to feel closer to his wife. And at least he has somewhere to go, to not feel alone, to not be sitting in his house, just crying, because he has 2 sons, he has grandchildren. He's there for them 110%. In the end, he smiled and I gave him a hug and I said, I'll see you tomorrow morning. And he said, yeah, I will. I'll see you tomorrow morning. We all need hope. We all need love. We all need to believe in something bigger than us. We all have to trust. Little did I know that putting down the drink would give me this ability to be able to be transparent and to be sober and not ashamed. Shocker, I'm still happy that I'm not waking up without a drink in my hand. I am still happy that I don't wake up looking at that glass of wine from the night before, sitting on my nightstand or in my kitchen and everything's a mess. I'm still happy for the freedom I have today. Freedom of choice. freedom to be able to be honest with myself and the freedom to share with you all. Now that's enough for me. Wow, that was kind of deep. I went deep today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I want you to know that you're not alone. You can always reach me at Elizabeth, ELIZABETH at elizabethchance.com. And chance is just like take a chance, CHANCE. Um, you don't have to do this by yourself. You don't have to do this by yourself. I promise you, life gets better without a bit drink in your hand. I can tell you that. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe to my channel. Please, please, please. We're trying to get these numbers up. And please write to me if you have any questions, if you want me to talk about something that I haven't talked about. Please know that I'm sending you all hugs and love. And let's get busy living sober, you guys. Let's get busy loving who we are and believing in whatever we believe in and being proud of it. Don't have to make anybody else feel bad for it. Just start to be like, this is me. Take it or leave it. Love it or don't. But love people even though they are different than you. Because if not, your life gets really, really small. And you don't want it to get really, really small. You want to be proud of who you are and you want to be proud of your unit. You don't need a million friends. My mother used to always say, if you only had a handful of friends, you're a lucky person. That's 5 people. And just know this. I really hope you liked today's show. I hope you subscribe. I hope you share it with your friends, with your family. And until next time, everybody, keep getting busy, living soba. Take care. Oh, by the way, listen on Monday. You've got me, no guest on Monday. It's going to be me. It's Memorial Day. Let's talk then, or you're going to get to listen then. All right, until next time, keep getting busy, living soba. Take care, everybody. Bye.